Shaitan versus Iblis, the Islamic perspective on the devil. Ever wondered if the devil can have an identity crisis? In Islamic teachings, Shaitan and Iblis are often cast in the same villainous light, but they're not exactly twins from the underworld. Iblis started out as a Djinn with an angelic resume, but when he refused God's command to bow to Adam, he quickly found himself demoted, from celestial employee to eternal antagonist. Then there's Shaitan, a kind of catch-all title for whispering evildoers and negative forces, sometimes propagating Iblis's message, sometimes freelancing. Ever blamed, "the devil made me do it"? That's Shaitan, moonlighting as your worst impulse. Fascinatingly, Iblis's rebellion is not just about pride, but the tragic refusal to accept change, a theme echoed by Rumi, who wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Islamic tradition treats these figures as reminders. Evil doesn't always storm in with horns and pitchforks. Sometimes it's just your stubborn side refusing to bend. Isn't it ironic that the adversary is also humanity's most persistent motivator for doing good? Loki, the mischievous trickster from Norse mythology. Picture this, a shape-shifting, gender-bending, chaos-bringing god who manages to upend Valhalla's order just for kicks. Loki is the Norse pantheon's ultimate wildcard. Not quite hero, not quite villain. More like the mythological equivalent of the friend who double-books your dinner plans, just to see what happens. Responsible for both creative inventions, he did help the gods get Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and major disasters, like orchestrating the chain of events leading to Ragnarok. Loki blurs the boundaries between constructive and destructive mischief. The Vikings must have been real fans of plot twists. The humor of the gods is not always gentle, as Neil Gaiman quipped, and in Loki's case, it's outright pandemonium. Some stories depict him as cunning and witty, others as an outright saboteur. Yet Loki isn't just being malicious. His antics often prompt growth, reflection, and change, a cosmic prankster's way of saying, let's keep things interesting. Who says the universe can't use a little chaos every now and then? Ahriman, the spirit of destruction in Zoroastrianism. When it comes to evil, Ahriman, or Angra Mainyu in Zoroastrianism, sets the bar high, or perhaps low. He's chaos embodied, the dark to Ahura Mazda's light, inspired by a cosmic rivalry that makes modern soap operas look tame. The ancient Persians saw their universe as a battleground, with Ahriman tirelessly trying to sabotage order, morality, and even your probability of finding a matching pair of socks. While Ahura Mazda stands for wisdom and creation, Ahriman is all about decay, deceit, and, metaphorically speaking, the Mondays of existence. Zoroaster's teachings made this good versus evil duality central. Every human action either strengthens order or feeds the abyss. As the Avesta states, good thoughts, good words, good deeds, which sounds suspiciously like Ahriman's personal pet peeves. But here's the twist. Ahriman is destined to lose because light inevitably triumphs over darkness. Makes you wonder, was he simply in it for dramatic flair? Mara, the tempter in Buddhism. Think Buddhism is all peace, lotus flowers, and chill enlightenment? Enter Mara, the original spiritual troll. When Siddhartha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, seeking ultimate truth, it was Mara who pulled out all the stops, fear, seduction, existential doubt, to derail his journey. Described as both a literal being and a metaphor for inner delusion, Mara's superpower is distraction. Have you ever tried meditating and suddenly remembered every embarrassing thing you've ever done? Classic Mara. Texts describe him as the personification of the forces antagonistic to enlightenment, and who among us hasn't felt personally victimized by our own overactive minds? Yet the Buddha's victory over Mara isn't a battle scene. It's the quiet resilience of mindfulness winning out over temptation. It raises the question, is the real devil simply our inability to stay present? Eris, the goddess of strife and discord in Greek mythology. Imagine RSVPing to a wedding just to stir chaos. Eris is the friend you never invite, but somehow always shows up. Best known for rolling the golden apple marked to the fairest into the wedding party of Peleus and Thetis, which snowballed into the Trojan War, Eris is chaos in a stylish toga. Her myth highlights not just the trouble caused by vanity and rivalry, but how a little discord sometimes reveals uncomfortable truths. As Hesiod wrote, strife is no evil for mortals, reminding us that a sprinkle of competition can sometimes lead to progress. Eris isn't pure malice. She's more like a cosmic catalyst, ensuring that the status quo never gets too comfortable. Next time you find yourself amid drama, maybe give Eris a mental high five. She keeps life interesting, doesn't she? The Djinn, wicked spirits in Arabian folklore. If you think genies are all about granting 3 wishes, Arabian folklore wants a word. Djinn, or jinn, are ancient complex beings made of smokeless fire, operating somewhere between angels and humans and definitely outside scheduled customer service hours. Sometimes helpful, often mischievous, and occasionally downright nasty, these spirits are free-willed and unpredictable. The Quran mentions them as another race created by God, and stories abound of their tricks and bargains, and of course their ever-popular lamp-related gig. The world is a prison for the believer and a paradise for the infidel, goes a saying attributed to the Prophet Muhammad, and the Djinn make sure it's anything but boring for either group. Some are benevolent, others are pranksters, and a few are more like cautionary tales in supernatural form. Would you trust a wish from a being who loves loopholes? The choice, much like the Djinn, is always unpredictable. Samael, the angel of death and accuser in Judaic tradition. Who says angels can't have dark sides? Meet Samael, the ultimate celestial multitasker, angel of death, tempter, and prosecutor-in-chief in the heavenly court. In some Jewish mysticism, Samael is both feared and respected, a necessary part of divine justice, not just a villain skulking in the shadows. He's the accuser in God's heavenly courtroom, ensuring even the holiest are held accountable, kind of like a cosmic auditor. As the Kabbalah describes, Samael is the severity of God, which makes him less evil incarnate and more the universe's strict school principle. His name even means poison of God, because, let's face it, being the herald of uncomfortable truths is rarely popular. Intriguingly, he's sometimes paired with Lilith as a symbol of rebellion. Don't we all have a little Samael in us, an inner voice reminding us to double-check our ethical homework? Yama, the Hindu god of death and dharma. Think the afterlife is a bureaucratic mess? Meet Yama, the Hindu god who greets souls at their final destination with a notebook of cosmic laws. More orderly than ominous, Yama is not your average grim reaper. He's the impartial judge presiding over the soul's journey, deciding destinies with all the gravitas of Judge Judy. In Vedic myths, Yama is the first mortal to die, promoted to Lord of Death for pioneering the afterlife commute. Yet he's not just an endgame boss, he also embodies dharma, moral order, and is seen as a guide, not just a collector. Do your duty, for action is better than inaction, echoes the Bhagavad Gita, an ethos Yama would approve. So next time you meet your deadlines, you've got a bit of Yama's sense of order in you. Who knew death could be so surprisingly well organized? Found this video interesting? Leave us a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Let us know what we should cover next in the comments below.